estimated in.
Yeah, it should have been 5 minutes. Yeah, can you just help me there? Sorry.
I think so.
I'll get them in. Colin, Creeping Apple, Johan. Nice one.
Ashley, you hear me?
Yo, can hear you. The players met, and then you just add everything. Okay.
Right, guys, to the guys that are on the stream is back up and running. Unfortunately, that was the load shedding kicking in. They were running about 5 minutes late. So we were hoping to have gotten away with it. Just getting my invite back into the lobby, and we will get this racing action underway once again. So a big thank you to my neighbor Steph, running a couple of meters of cable to get all our power running, not only my modem but also the PlayStation and all my streaming equipment. So a big thank you to Steph. I'm definitely gonna have to get him a bottle of Jack Daniels or something.
Yeah, good thing you have good neighbors. Well done, Dylan. I was just thinking I should do that as well.
Okay guys, I am back. I had to somehow get my controller in and realize that the cable I had was too short. We are ready to go. I was load shedded. I just have a really cool neighbor who threw 75 meters. It's about 75 meters of cable. We've got a 50 meter going into my garage. There's a 25 meter coming into the boys' room, and a 15 meter going to my router.
Is everybody here? Is everybody missing?
The live stream is up, guys. I see Andrew Horn saying super cool neighbor. Yes, indeed.
Thanks, Steph.
Thank you,
Cool,
Steph.
guys.
Terry knows.
Thumbs up if you're ready. Let's go.
So to the Alpha tier, unfortunately we are running just a little bit late, guys, but we'll definitely do our best to make up the time.
If you say ready, then it'll go.
Yep, there it goes now. Enjoy, guys. So actually the thing that made it just a little bit trickier is the fact that everything I'm doing with one hand.
Well done, Dylan, for managing to get that generator started with one hand.
Lucky I didn't have to start the generator. I am getting a bit of an echo from your side. Let me just see.
I've disconnected the other mic now,
Okay,
so
that
that should be
awesome.
fine now.
Yep, I'm not getting that echo. So to the guys that were fortunate enough to be at the F400 karting race on Saturday, an absolute pleasure to have met all of you. There was an absolute crack of an image that was put up on our Discord to see some of the faces. So we had the 3 racing boots Vaughan Hills, who is now officially the fastest Hills on the karting planet. We had Brandon Hills, Lendl Janssen, the three of them created a team. We then had Andrew Horn joining Terry Wolford, and I was introduced to him as the Game Mexican, and unfortunately can't remember his name. We had my team where Peter Hardeman joined myself and Boss Mike for our fun times, and then a pure sim racing team of Jakes Fatikaki, Brufo, and last but not least Rudy Bass. What an absolute awesome day. So 4 teams represented at the karting race, drivers from SARCO. It was already such a proud moment for myself.
And Dylan, how did the guys enjoy the real force feedback that they were getting from the kart?
I'll tell you what, we'll ask Jakes about force feedback. So Andrew Horn just said that their third driver, the Game Mexican, his name is Pedro. And now I know.
Cool. Well, it sounds like you had a fun time. I'm sorry about you hitting the tire barriers.
The tire barrier that was not supposed to be there. I actually spoke to Nico Rutu, who is the new chairman of the F100 Club. And apparently those tires were there the entire race. I didn't know that they were there. And that's how focused I was on hitting the apex.
Right.
I never knew the tires were there. Can you believe it? Anyway.
Well, freak accidents do happen. To tell you the story of my own injury on a warm-up lap, I think everybody knows this one already. My own teammates sprang in front of me, and
was
I had to take
Craig?
evasive action. No, it was Connor. It was Connor, and I had to take evasive action, and ended up sliding into the side of him and almost cracking my ribs. Man, it was the most painful thing I've ever experienced. But fortunately, I didn't damage anything, and I recovered pretty quickly. But yeah, you will always get ragged for taking me out on the warm-up lap.
So let's just take a quick recap start. Oh, I've got to open up all my files again. There we go. I just hope that it's not corrupted. Let's see if it was saved. Because unfortunately the downtime that we experienced was me experiencing some load shedding. Okay, so this has now saved as a read only, so I just hope that everything is still there. Okay, there it is. Fantastic. So the 5 drivers that are going to be in the fort is Peter Brunt, Terry Wilfred, get out of my way, Andrew Ambrosioni, Racing Rolf, as well as Ninko are the 5 drivers that will be in the forts. And it essentially comes down to who the fastest Ford is on the day, and that's how you essentially are going to be recovering those points through the championship, because remember, the top 5 out of the 2 heats will be promoted to say, or is it demoted, I'm not sure what the right word for that is, into the Fords for the next race.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at the times now. I mean, this track is looking at the times are 1:40. So it doesn't really give them much time to get out and do a quick lap. They'll essentially only get 2 laps, 2 flying laps. And that's if they'll all manage to get out in time. So it all depends on how cleanly they manage to get these couple of laps in. And just remember, their tires are not up to temperature. These cars take a long time for the tires to get up to temperature. So they're going to be slipping and sliding around here. So I'm expecting a very exciting qualifying year with some unpredicted results.
Yeah, so
no, you still there?
Yeah, I am. I'm sorry, I was just reading a message from Daniel saying that it was pretty offensive seeing that his children are half Mexican. And just to cover the air there, Daniel, they promise you there was no offense given. And that is exactly what Andrew is saying. That is his nickname, and that's how we were all introduced to him.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he's just ragging you, but that's not how you want to be introduced to anyone on the live stream here as well. So, just looking at the times there, a 1:40 almost dead by Johan VDV. He's driving the BMW tonight. So, he must be relieved after last race where he was stuck in the Ford Escort and was really battling. Had a fantastic start, but when it came to the first corner, unfortunately he was taken out, and that was the end of his race, and he couldn't really recover from there. And even in the second race he battled it, but so far
that is Johan VDV on pole.
Yeah,
with,
less than
a
tenth of a second. Yeah.
Then Tyler Scott in 4th place, and there's Peter Brandt in 4th. Remember, Peter's in the Ford, so followed by Sarge in a Ford. Then Dane in 6th place with Andrew Brogioni. He's also in a Ford, down in 7th. And Colin in 8th, also in the Ford. Then CRE, that is Reeve creeping a 799 Apple. Oh my goodness, I just thought my TV went off.
It was just somebody's garage door closed. So a brilliant qualification there from Johan VDV, taking his first pole this season, followed there by BRM Marius, then Tyler Scott in 3rd position, and we have Peter Brandt in 4th, Ryan in 5th, 6th position Dane, 7th Ambicure in the Ford Escort, followed by Colin, Creeping Apple, Reeve, and that's Boktur.
Christo.
I think that's Christo.
Yep.
Yes. So we're not seeing Rolf tonight. Or is he further down the field? Or did we lose him?
So there in 11th place
sorry.
is Rolf, and there's Terry in 12th. So both Rolf and Terry not being able to get a lap in. I'm not sure whether they invalidated some of those laps. But here we go. We are going to be racing in the next 2 minutes or so.
Quite interesting that Peter Brandt there managed to get that time of a 140, very close to the leaders. So he's managed to get that Ford really moving.
So what I quite like about this track is that we do miss our turn number 6, the hairpin of this track, and as you go through the parabolica, turn number 5 is essentially where you will take the little slip road and then rejoin in 8th place. But we are lights out and we are racing here at Hockenheim. Johan's got a great start of flying. We see some of the Fords just looking for position there. Focus on Dane currently in 6th place. Now we move to Andrew, but it is Johan VDV in 1st, Marius in 2nd, Tyler Scott in 3rd, Sarge is up to 4th, and Peter Brandt losing some places down in 5th place.
Good clean start from all the riders tonight, and that's fantastic. That's exactly what we want to see. And hopefully my commentator's curse doesn't kick in. Nope, still a good pull away from the drivers there. And in front we have Johan VDD, who's been chased down by Tyler Scott. And
but now hard on the brakes. Oh, yeah, looks like Johan's gone a little bit deep. He just manages to catch it, but Tyler, a little squeeze to the inside. Looking further up.
Not too bad.
Yeah, I didn't see anything else happening there. There's a little lock up there for Tyler, but he now is clear through on the first lap here, coming through turns number 10. And I must say that BMW likes taking that inside curb, but once you hit that dip, the rear does settle up. But what we find is quite interesting is that you're able to really throw these Fords into the corners, and they carry a lot more speed through the corner. So while the BMWs will catch up on the straight, is that you'll notice that specifically through the stadium section, that those Fords will be very difficult to overtake.
Hoping so, because I haven't really done much practice in the Fords, and when I did, the best I could get was actually a very 140 odd, 143 I think it was. So I still got a lot of work to do. But a good battle here in front between Tyler Scott and Johan. Johan not letting Tyler get away.
That might be a bit of a slowdown penalty, so Tyler might just have to come off the power, or it looks like he's just going to commit. But that's Marius now being able to move up to 2nd place. Morris, having the tighter, slower line, had to allow Johan VDV to go through. But Johan now taking back on second place, and we can see Sarge. So Sarge just getting himself a wheel this last week. So we know that he'll be driving in the wheel. So Reeve having a bit of issues there. We'll move up on the inside for Andrew. That is Peter Brunt, who will be able to get ahead of him. Well, no, apologies, that was Colin, who's now moved himself up into 6th with Andrew Brogioni trying to close him down. Coming through turns number 8, now through turn number 9, and then through turn number 10. And this is where the Fords will start getting a little bit of that, I say advantage, but they will carry a lot more speed through here. It'll look to the inside, but Dane decides against it, realizing that the Fords will carry the speed. Oh, that's Colin a little bit wide. Now through turn number 12, through Sachs. Colin's wide. Sarge had spun on the side of the track there, so that is now Sarge down into 8th position, which is now allowed Terry. Remember, Terry started right at the back. He's now moved himself up into 7th place.
I do see Terry has a bit of a penalty there, so he must have just cut a corner somewhere. Not sure what time penalty he would have received there, probably not more than 2 seconds. But he's chasing Dane in the BMW quite hard, and he's actually managed to keep up. He has a look on the inside.
Lots of space there was allowed by Dane, but they'll be side by side. This is where Dane will now have the advantage, but Terry will be able to take a much tighter line heading towards the Parabolica. They'll then turn out of turn number 5, then into the link up, which then joins the track just before turn number 8. And you can see the advantage that Dane had in that straight line.
I just want to shoot to the front of the field where Tyler and Morris are having a good ding-dong battle here.
Yeah, I must say that Morris has been very unfortunate this season, and especially
Johan's
coming
got
to the
ahead.
Yeah, Johan does have that lead back. Lots of inside curb there for Tyler. That's not a place that I would feel comfortable getting the car on, but he does seem pretty comfortable now. And what I was saying is it's so good to see Morris. He was plagued with some disconnections, and let's just hope that has all been sorted out. I don't know if you've been helping Morris at all with any of his internet connections there, Ashley?
I did assist him with his LTE connection, but that was last season already, so I'm not sure. He hasn't contacted me since.
So interestingly enough, in 4th place, that is Peter Brunt, who's currently in 4th, with Andrew in 5th. So we do have 2 Fords up in the first 6 places. And that's Johan VDV.
What happened?
On the side. I think he might have clipped that outside curb into turn number 1, which is now...
He's got a bit of damage there.
Dropped him down into 4th place. Whoa! 2 wheels there for Peter Brunt, taking a lot of that inside curb. But now this is where Johan needs to be patient. He'll have the straight line speed advantage, and you can see how that
easily just pulls a gap on PW. A bit of a lock up of the brakes there.
But you can hear how Johan is just feathering that throttle, where Peter Brunt will be able to carry way much more speed through there.
That's
you
right.
can see that this little Ford is really fighting extremely hard. So this for me is actually really good to see.
Yeah, that's exactly what we wanted. We wanted that little bit of variation between the cars.
Because you can see how Peter Brunt closed up on Johan VDB here now, coming through turn number 12. Let's just see if a much tighter line there. That's really good to see now. Through turns number 14, now they'll come around turn number 15, the final 2 corners. And Marius up into 2nd place. And Peter Brunt is still there fighting really hard, with Andrew Brogioni in 5th place, but he does have Dane following him down, and Terry is still in a 7th position.
And then Morris goes a bit wide there, and that will allow for Johan just to catch up a bit. In the background, Peter Brunt.
Johan's having
He's
a look
getting
on
a bit
the
of a
inside.
toe. Oh, good move there. And now Peter Brunt has Morris in his sights. And will he get a little slipstream on the back here just to help him? Hard on the brakes.
That was Johan VDV locking up, going into the link-up phase just through turn number 5. So this is so good to see Tyler Scott out in front, followed by Johan VDV in second place. That is your battle for first, second, third, and the fourth. And in the background there you can see Dane has managed to get himself around Andrew. So Andrew now down into 6th, and Dane promotes himself into 4th place.
I just don't want to leave this action because it's so close at the moment for first, second, third, and 4th. And look at Peter Brunt.
You'll have a look.
Gives him a little bit of a nudge. And gets past.
So Andrew did put up a message here saying that Johan VDV is really making it hard for himself. And yes, he is. Just going a little bit too deep in some of those corners. Through turn number 1. Will Morris have that straight line advantage now? Johan VDV looking to the inside again on Tyler Scott. And very, very late on those brakes there. But now you'll have the inside line. You'll just need to keep it nice and tight. Will Tyler have the exit? But now Tyler will be on the inside. You can see 0.004 of a second. They're going to be side by side.
So good driving from both the guys there, giving each other enough room. Tyler saw Johan braking a little bit too hard there and almost up-braking himself, and it just left him enough room to go past, but had the better drive over the corner, and that's what put him back into the lead again. But we just saw him now locking up the tyres there again, so he's under pressure from Johan. He knows he's there. He knows that Johan's going to try dive on the inside.
But Johan sees him coming and just backs off the power there, and Amarius now closing back up on Peter Brunt. So much awesome racing here.
Fantastic racing, and while these guys are having a battle, you see Peter Brunt, he's not letting him get away. He's having a fantastic dossier in the Ford Escort. Managed to keep up with the front runners here in the BMW. That is good to see.
So I just want to see these times as they cross the line. So Tyler 141.3, 141.1, 140.3. So Peter Brunt is the fastest out of the 4 cars. And I'm sure the Alpha Tail will be having a wonderful close look there, specific to the 5 drivers that will be in the Ford. But Johan VDV, now he goes up. Tyler takes a much tighter line. I hope they didn't touch. It looked like a little bit of contact there.
And watch Peter Brunt now. He's been waiting for this to happen. He's to tuck in behind Johan VDV. Sorry. I'm just going to call him Johan from now on. Johan goes wide, and that's allowed Peter Brunt to get through.
And then now Morris has been able to close up the action, get right up behind them. And now will Peter Brunt be able to start pressurizing Tyler Scott?
He's right on the back of them, and he's got a much better drive out of that corner. And if he just stays in his slipstream, that'll help him with the straight line advantage. But immediately, he's much quicker through that corner, and you can see he's challenging.
Side by side! What a great move there by Peter Brunt. Sneaks it in.
There he goes.
Johan now breaks himself, so he's now dropped down into 4th place. He might go down to 5th if Dane is able to go around the outside. So Johan able to hang on to that 4th place. But now Johan's going to have a Dane to contend with. But we have a Ford out in front here at Hockenheim Ring. Brother heat number 1.
Well, there you go. I'm basically eating my words right now. But Peter Brunt does have a penalty. I'm just looking at the the timesheet, so we're not sure what their penalty is, but he will need to pull some sort of gap if he wants to win this race, and that's not going to be too easy. Let's just hope that he can keep it nice and tidy, and with a bit of luck, he might be able to pull this off with only 7.5 minutes left to go.
Now Peter Brandt will hold the inside. Now Tyler is going to try and go around the outside. But we know how nimble this little Ford is. You can see that tight line that Peter Brandt is now taking. He'll have to move to the left-hand side now. Tyler's going to be fast enough, but he might just not get the exit right. I did expect that. Now Marius is going to go around the outside. Just careful of that. Oh, that might be a slowdown penalty. You can see he's got that car completely outside those white lines.
Yeah, so Johan's managed to catch these guys again, so he had a blistering last lap. Well, this lap should I say, because his last lap was a 1:46, as we saw him taking that through the stadium section a bit wide onto the gravel, pulling Sebastian Vettel.
You see that side by side, Johan and Marius. So Johan will, there's Andrew in the background going a little bit wide there. He's just going to ride it off the grass there. Now through turn number 1. Sounded like there was a little bit of a gear shift down there, trying to keep that car stable. Now will Johan VDV have a look to the inside on Marius? Big lock up there, and he just lets it go just before he turns in. So that was a great move, but I do think that he was a little bit of a ways, but obviously that's because of the camera angle that we're looking at. It might have been very different from the driver's point of view. Now Johan VDV on the inside. You'll have Peter Brandt on the outside. That is a much better braking maneuver there for Johan. But now we know that Johan's going to be on the outside. You better know that the little Ford is on the inside. A great maneuver there by Johan, as well as understanding that Peter B was going to be there. But now Johan VDB using that power to his advantage. He's now going to be on the inside. He will have the inside line. Now,
sorry.
Scratching my throat.
Well, don't worry, Dylan. Peter Brandt's all over the back of Johan VDD, and they go side by side into the stadium section.
But look how strong this little Ford is through the stadium section.
These guys are having an epic battle here at the moment.
Johan taking all that curb with him, and remember seeing it in the Formula 1 season two years ago, where Max Verstappen loses it and slid his Red Bull over that curb, and Johan VDV just throws his car straight over it.
Well, there's a slight difference between the two formulas, but nevertheless, fantastic racing here tonight between all these drivers at the top. And let's not forget Dane in the background. He's starting to catch this bunch. So from a 4-horse race, it's now turning to a 5. And Andrew is doing really well to hang on the back of this group as well.
While we have a moment, please, let's just jump down to 9th place. I'll tell you why, because I'm seeing Terry and Sarge. They are having their own little battle there. Terry in the Ford Escort and Sarge in the BMW, and they've been changing positions as I've been watching this, but man oh man, cannot get our eyes away from what's happening out in front. So just had to pop in here just to see what's happening. But it is Tyler Scott who leads with Johan V in 3rd place. You see that recovery. Peter Brandt in 2nd, and then Marius in 3rd with Dane in 5th place. Marius in 4th, Dane in 5th.
Absolutely, and as we saw Terry's car there, you noticed he had a bit of a facelift, and I wonder if that's going to be giving him an extra downforce on the straights, because you can see that nose was popped down a bit. But
so
yeah, up in front we have, yep.
I've just realized what's going to be happening for the next race. We're going to have Andrew starting up in front. If the positions stay as they are, Andrew will lead us away with Dane in second, Marius third, Johan VDV in fourth. Peter Brandt will start in fifth, and Tyler Scott will start off in sixth place. Now that's going to mix things up even more. Oh, big lock up there for you, and I'm sure there was lots of coconuts going, saying, please stop, please stop, please stop.
Sure. And I'm just looking at the head, and it looks like they're coming up to a back marker, so that's going to make things a little bit interesting. As Johan gets past right there. Obviously having what? But look at that! Peter Brandt comes straight back again.
There's Christo getting very well out of the way. Johan VDV has another look to the inside. So they look to be pretty clean now, but now Peter Brandt inside here through turn number 10. But now the BMW will have the power on the outside. But we do not take our eyes away from this action for a second, because coming through the stadium section, this little Ford is going to start closing up on Johan as he takes some curb with him, running out of turn number 11. Oh no, Peter Brandt a little bit too wide there. I wasn't able to get that power down, get the car turning in and holding that inside line. You can see Johan letting that rear just step out just a little bit. And this is how the Ford is able to close up right on the back of the BMWs through that section. So this will be the final lap, and so far it is Tyler Scott who's leading, with Johan VDV in second place and Peter Brandt in the little engine that could. Whoa! Kick off the curb coming through turn number 1, and we have seen many races be ended there. We can ask Sly Pete. We've seen Jacques, that's Mal Jacques, do that. That curb is not a very good one.
No, you're right, Dylan. I've met that curb a few times, and she's not pleasant. So back in the lead here, we have Tyler Scott, and he's been chased hard by Johan VDV. I wish he would change his name.
We'll just call him Johan, because we do have another Johan that joined us, but the only reason we've called him Johan because he was the original Johan, and that is Duppy. I realize we actually call him Duppy and not Johan, so we'll call him Johan. There we go, sorted.
Oops, sorted. Okay, so it's Johan that's chasing Tyler Scott here.
And I'm so used to saying Tyler Scott. If I just say Tyler, it doesn't sound right.
Tyler, yeah. With the last lap to go, they come through to the stadium section. And hard on the brakes there.
I thought there would have been a bit of a touch there, but look at this. Peter Brandt is not letting up just yet.
Peter Brandt goes on the inside.
Oh,
that touch.
But they should be able to recover unless Morris is going to be able to go around the outside. But that
Tyler
was
comes over the line.
Brave move there. And man, fantastic. Oh man, what fantastic. An epic race.
So I'll see that Boris managed to get ahead of him, and I think it's because of the time penalty that Peter Brandt had, and he ended up in 4th. But that will start him in 3rd position for the next race.
Man, oh man, guys on the stream, if that was not exciting racing action, then honestly, I have absolutely no words.
It was less than 3 seconds between those top 5 guys. Unbelievable.
I think it was what's his name? Oh, I can't even think of it. Leclerc. Didn't he go? Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
A visitor. My cat has decided to come and talk to me while the live stream was on. No. So what an absolute crack of a race.
Okay, guys, just take notes of your position. Guys, can you hear me?
We won't be able to hear them just yet. We'll have to go to the next one. Just want to check in to see what is happening on the Facebook page. Sorry guys, on the Facebook page, if you are there, I have not been ignoring you. It's just that to take my eyes off that action has been so difficult. Just want to check in to see what is...
Stop being a dick. Before
Terry, we are Code Coconuts.
Yes, I said don't be a drink.
That's not what we heard, Terry. So just checking, just checking in with the guys on the stream. So we got Veli Adelem, he's watching. So welcome. Albert Fenter, how's it? He's joined us as well, saying, did you see, guys, the Ford is the fastest on the track now. It looks like he was cheering for Peter Brunt, so saying number 47, like we know him. Then some messages coming through on the YouTube streams. Brandon and Santos saying, what awesome racing. Everyone thinks I'm crazy, shouting at my phone. Connor saying, I'm sad for the Ford though. Brandon saying, I was doing the same while outside having a cigarette. Marius has said, well done Tyler, Johan and Marius, good racing. Connor agrees with them, saying really good racing. So what a spectacular finish from Daniel. Wall Machine 1988 Morales. So actually, I'm not sure whether you can hear what's happening in the lobby, or the guys going to get ready to start there. So guys, what will be happening now is that we will be going into a manual rolling start. From there, the top 6 drivers will now do a reverse grid. So Andrew will now start off in first place with Danny in second. Peter Brandt starts off in 4th with Marius in 5th place, with Johan in... sorry, let me try that again. Marius in 4th place with Johan in 5th, and then Tyler down in a 6th position. Got a message from Andrew Brogioni saying that his headset went flat. He's just going to get that charged up. So we are hoping to get him back very soon, and we will be racing pretty shortly. So there's the invite that will go out to the drivers, just so that the driver, Andrew, who will be leading them off, is able just to communicate to the drivers, make sure that they are in position, and then he will start them off. So guys, we are not able to hear what the guys in the lobby are currently saying, because every time I do leave that on, we do get a YouTube strike on our videos, because we are picking up the music which is copyrighted. So I do not try and get the sound on when we are in the lobby. So I apologize for the radio silence, but I will try and keep the airwaves going. So Ashley invited me to the chat party. Is that good for me to be there? So on my screen, I'm able to see Ashley's talking to me, but unfortunately, I'm not able to hear him. So I see him pushing a few buttons.
Can you hear me now?
There we go, loud and clear.
Awesome. I think everybody is. There's 11.
No, there should be 12.
14 with Dylan. So
we had 12 drivers the last race.
So we need. So who's not in here? Colin.
Now Colin is there. Everyone is there.
And Dane.
Dane is there as well.
No, I'm talking about the party chat.
Got you. Apologies. Veli's come through on the Facebook page saying, glad to see the Ford doing better, as he's a Ford guy himself. So we know who Veli is now cheering for. Really looking forward to this next heat. But don't forget, guys, we still have the Alpha tier who will be starting directly after the second heat. We will try and get that lobby up and running.
Okay, guys, I'm going to get going.
We do have Christopher Radloff, who's going to be hosting that Alpha tier. So thank you very much, Christopher, for your help there. But I definitely think while we are racing, let's get some of the drivers in, have a chat to them, just so they can take us through some of this first heat. Because we essentially had 5 drivers fighting for essentially 3 places.
Dylan, are you getting feedback from me?
I'm not. It's all loud and clear.
Okay, interesting. So if you go through the party chat, we don't get a feedback.
So as soon as this loading screen is done and dusted, we can get some sound back. There we go. So just remember, guys, that when the race pulls off, they will be getting themselves into positions. The top 6 do begin in a reverse grid, and then from 7th place down, they do start in the position that they ended.
Sushi.
That is correct. That is Sushi in the background. I can't really hear her because of my headset is pretty sound.
Sushi.
Lucky she couldn't hear you, because she would just be mowing just for the sake of mowing, because you're calling her name like this. Hey, Sushi. Now because I'm saying it now, you're not doing it, honestly. So, you will know Connor a little bit better than I do. But I'm just going to read it as I see it. It goes, Dylan, how was the karting? Heard you got a bit injured, laughing face. So Connor, why don't you phone me and I'm going to have a discussion with you.
At least it's only your wrist, not your ribs. If Connor was driving, it would have been far worse.
So there goes Andrew Brogioni out in front. He will lead the guys away. Let's see, Dane should be in 2nd place with Peter Brunt in 3rd. Then Marius will be in 4th with Johan in 5th and Tyler in 6th place.
I like how the game just instinctively knew that he was in the lead, that he had need to start from the lead. Starting up in front.
It looks like that exhaust is rubbing right up against the floor.
And even the driver, it looks like he's maybe a Craig size.
Oh goodness. Connor didn't appreciate your comment there, Ashley.
What was that?
About the rib incidents. Just say shut up, Ash. So I think we might have to phone his dad and tell him it's past his bedtime and he should go to bed now. We're only teasing you, Connor, just because we can. Okay guys, it is still a 20-minute race here for the second heat. Unfortunately, just a slight delay. We did have to restart with my power going off. And a very big thank you to my neighbor Steph, who has made a plan between about 75 meters of extension cables, and we are up and running. So as Andrew leads the 12 deep Bravo tier through turn at number 12, we saw Johan Villivi making a little mistake there earlier. But
Andrew, just back up the pack a bit.
Now they'll head down the main straight, and man oh man does that look intimidating for those little forwards. But there they go, it is lights out, and it's going to be a 3 wide going into turn number 1, and Andrew side by side with Dane. Great maneuver. Oh, little touch of the nose there for Andrew, so that's unfortunately dropped him back down. As he came back, was just a little touch. But it is Johan Villivi now back up into 5th place, knowing that he started way down in 5th. So he had an absolute cracker of a start there. And a little flash there for Johan Villivi. He's now out in front with Dane in 2nd place. Tyler's up into 3rd. Peter Bunt in 4th with Morris in 5th. Terry in 6th place. Reeve in 7th. Sarge in 8th place with Racing Wolf down in 9th. Christo in 10th place. Colin 11th, and then Andrew a little touch into the first corner, and that has put him down into 12th position.
A terrible start there, unfortunately, for Andrew, losing pretty much every single place in the first corner. So it just shows he just got bogged down there at the beginning, and the BMW just had the better acceleration, and he was swamped on the first corner, and unfortunately everybody gets through. So terrible start there, but up front, Johan still ahead, and Dane in 2nd position. Tyler Scott following, and Peter Brandt still managing in 4th position. Only lost 1 position there at the start, so a good start from him nonetheless. And in the background, Morris goes a bit wide there, as we see Peter goes on the curve there a bit. And we're away on our first lap. No major incidents so far.
So now I'm actually very interested to see what Dane is able to do, because we did see him chasing down that pack of 5 cars, but he wasn't able to get up there and put on a challenge, where now he finds himself in 2nd place, having started 2nd on the grid. But it is Johan coming down from 5th place, so he got an absolute crack of a start there.
Yeah. Almost unbelievable how he managed to get such a good start there at the beginning, but nevertheless he's ahead, and Dane goes a bit wide there in the corner, and that's allowed Tyler just to close up a little bit on him. So go through the tight section here. See how Peter Brandt just closes the gap on Tyler there.
Tyler, yeah, and this is where we
better drive.
We know that Peter's been so good through the stadium section, and then we see behind Tyler is Morris, but then there's Terry in another Ford. But this is what we want to be seeing. We want to be seeing this Ford coming through now. Will he be able to go around the outside of Tyler here through turn number 12? Well, he's definitely going to give it a go.
brave move
that
there,
is
right on
extremely
the
brave.
marbles.
But he did manage to keep it out there quite comfortably. And I'm sure some of those alpha guys will be looking at that and thinking, what if they can duplicate that for the race coming up after this? Would you go and stick that car on the outside there?
No, not in the marbles, but I suppose at this point of the race, there's not much debris out there at the moment. But later on, there will be a lot of rubber that's been thrown off there. So I wouldn't attempt that later down in the race. But still keeping in the back of Tyler here. If I go up front, less than a second between Johan and Dane. So now Dane finding a rhythm and not letting Johan get away. And
just looking at those lap times, Johan going into the 139.7, he was only 0.4 of a second quicker than Dane. All he needs to do is just keep behind him, because we know that as soon as Johan started getting a little bit of pressure, that was when he started making those little mistakes. But I'm sure he would have learned from that the previous heat where to find those braking markers and get himself into that rhythm. But Peter Brunt once again trying to go around the outside of Tyler through turn number 12. But now will he have an opportunity to go to the inside? We did see him try that in the first heat. You see how much speed this little Ford carries through the section here.
Yeah, almost right into the back of Tyler there. Just looking at the background, Terry having a much better race. Got a bit of a clean track here ahead of him. And I do like the colours of that black and white. That was the same colours of my first car. I had also had a Ford Escort, so it wasn't the Mach 1, it was the Mach 2. But exactly the same colours there with the black rims and the chrome trimmings. And in the background we have a good battle going on between Reeve and Sarge.
Yeah, I was watching that. Well, Sarge now moving to the inside. Will he have the braking? Yes, he does. Maybe a little bit wide, but Reed might be able to sneak up on the inside. But this is going to put Ryan on the inside now for turn number 8. They're going to be side by side. And you see Reeve rather just lets him go through. But that's going to allow Andrew now to start putting pressure on the two of them. Andrew looking to go a wider line there. But
so Andrew's done well.
Yeah, starting to fight his way up through the order.
Absolutely. So let's just watch him going through the starter section. Yeah, we know the Fords are quicker through this stadium section. And he's closed right down on the back of this battle.
The other thing I wanted to point out, just look at those times. So Johan VDV, it's just changed now. But Dane, the previous lap, was on a 139. So Johan was the only one who was in the 140s. Dane, Tyler, and Peter Brunt were all in those 139. So there's the pace seems to be getting a lot quicker here now in the second heat. Well, Peter Brunt moved to the inside on Tyler. Was that Tyler trying to go around the outside? But Tyler will now be able to get the run down into turn number 5 as they go through half of the parabolica.
So these two are now catching Dane, who I think he made a mistake somewhere, and he's gone a bit wide, and that's allowed for Tyler to get in the inside.
No, Tyler. Oh, I was upset. No, Tyler. That is too close. Dane out on the outside. They look like they're just about 3 wide coming through turn number 10.
I think Dane saw him coming, maybe it was spooked a bit there, but Tyler did manage to slow down in time, so there was no real threat there. Now they're coming through the tight section in the stadium.
And all that's happening while these guys are fighting, they're just allowing Johan out front just to start extending the gap. You can see 4.5 seconds is now open as Peter just throws that car coming out of turn number 13. Now will you have a look on the inside of 15? We know that he can get a much tighter line there.
Oh, and that was so close there by Peter Brunt, almost tangling with Dane there, almost touching that rear, and they would have sent the BMW right around, but managed to get on the brakes just in time. So yeah, Johannes extended that gap by almost 4 seconds. He just needs to keep his head cool and calm and keep on the racing line. And there's a good chance that he could take this win. With 8.5 minutes left on the clock. An epic battle between Tyler, Dane and Peter Brunt going on at the moment. And in 5th position, we have Marius who's catching this pack as well. I'm just going to shoot down to the back here to 8th position. We still have a battle going on here between Ryan. I think that's Colin now, he's just caught.
And I just see that Andrews dropped down into 11th place. So he was fighting further up the field. So he must have made a...
Yeah, he was fighting Reeves. That's
159.9 there. So that's unfortunately dropped him down. You can see some damage on his car there. And not really what we wanted to see.
So I wonder if him and no, it was
looked like Terry perhaps.
Well, you know, at one point we had Reeve and we had Sarge that were so close together. So, and he was in the back of that pack. So I wonder if he maybe got together with them and there was some sort of incident. We'll have to find out after the race. So going back to the front of the field, we have a tight battle here between Tyler, Dane and Peter Brunt. Still going on.
And Tyler doing a 141, Johan doing a 141.6. So this pack of 3 cars have closed up on the back of Johan, and Peter Brunt is fighting extremely hard not to let these BMWs get away from him.
He is. And he's doing such a good job because we know the BMWs have that straight line advantage. You can see he's much
late on the brakes, carries a
late
lot
on
more
the
speed.
brakes, yeah.
We see Bruno Cadini, he's joined us. Bruno, how's it? She's saying good racing this evening, let's go. And definitely, little
Chucks.
Kick of the rear there. Peter Brunt being able to catch it. Johan's gap now between him and Tyler less than 3 seconds, so I'm not sure whether Johan is just managing his pace now or whether he's starting to make a few unexpected mistakes. But on board with Peter coming through, a little kick off the curb there through turn number 13. Don't you dare touch the keyboard, Sushi, move. Thank you. Now we'll see the BMWs start pulling away, and that is just devastating to see. But Peter knows that through the next corner, you can see he just feathered those brakes just a little bit, where it looked like the BMWs were on the brakes a little bit longer. But that is Dane now moving to the inside on Tyler. A great view here of this this move, and Dane makes it very easy. Just look how much speed is carrying.
Yeah, catches him with ease through that section there, but through this long straight, unfortunately, they just get away from him. Just have a look at maybe the speed difference. Almost 200 k's an hour there for, just didn't catch it in time. But those BMWs getting up to almost 200 k's an hour on their back straight. Just have to check on the next lap to see if we can get a time.
So my light in the room has just come on, which means my power has come back. I just hope that good old Steph realizes, oh, the power's back, and then just goes and turns off the generator. Then I'm going to be kicked off. So I think while we're doing the quick changeover to the Alpha tier, I'll just disconnect from the generator, and we will get that live racing action as Peter goes to the inside on Tyler. A little touch there, and that's spun him around. Luckily enough that it was Reeve wasn't too close.
I've just noticed that Tyler's picked up a penalty. So Dane just needs to put his head down now and focus if he wants to get this second position. Because in the background, Morris is catching Tyler.
So
After
far,
that'll come together from Peter Brunt.
after the first heat, in terms of the points, Tyler Scott is on 30, Johan 25, so that's 5 points off. Then Marius, he's on 21, Peter is on 18, Dane on 15, and Andrew on 13. And we gotta just keep in mind who the next top 5 are going to be, because they will be taking the Ford to the next race. And that next race on the Monday night, as I try and delay going into the website, if we do want to check out our website, it is sarcoracing.co.za. Our next race is at the Dubai Autodrome, and that is in the National. And with it getting so hot there, it is a night race, so we are bringing night racing back to SARCO. We did see that in one of our previous championships.
That's right, we did the V8 series, if I recall, and that was pretty interesting. I remember having a good dice there with Brandon Gills. But that was at the beginning of his SARCO career. Different story now. He's much quicker and he's got used to the sim racing scene. But still, well, I managed to beat him in the last race, but that's only because he made a mistake.
On the last corner.
On the last corner, on the last 2 laps.
There was 2 laps left to go and he made a mistake. Yeah, we actually had a little chat about that. The 3 racing bots, and I said to Brandon as well as Lendon, I said, guys, you're at the point now where you put in the qualifying times, but now it's all about BMT, starting to convert those qualifying times into good racing results. Tyler goes to the inside, not able to get himself ahead of Dane into turn number 2, but now Marius closing up on the back of Tyler. This could be anyone's race, and these guys are fighting here for 2nd, 3rd and 4th place.
Absolutely, I think we will get another lap after this, so this should be the penultimate lap. And we see Dane there taking a slightly wider line. Tyler trying to add as much pressure on as possible, not letting me get away. Mario is trying to keep with the back of this pack. Maybe he's just waiting for a little mistake from these 2.
Well, I think you shouldn't be waiting. You should be trying to force that mistake. So it should be right on the back of Tyler, because what Tyler's doing is trying to pressurize Dane. But I don't think Tyler's possibly feeding the same pressure that Dane is, because Tyler would be really filling that rear view mirror of Dane's BMW. We will have one more lap. Now I think that Marius heard me there. You can see how he just closed up coming out of the turn number 15.
Yeah, he knows he's got one last chance, one last lap to make something happen. And these guys go through the back little section here, just the exit of the pits there, into a tight right-hander.
Look into turn number 2. That could have been a terrible move that. But Dane just able to get past. But you can see now Tyler not getting the drive out of that corner that he would have hoped for.
So those times on the last lap were very, very similar. Sorry, Dylan.
Yeah, go
Look at those times. So 140.7, 140.6, 140.8 between 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Not much between these drivers at the moment. Tyler being the quicker one, but he still has that penalty. We don't know exactly how much of of a penalty, so Marius might actually be on the podium here if he get close enough to Tyler. So they go through the stadium for one last time. And Dane seems to be in control. Morris just needs to keep the... And I'm just going to go to the front there.
Johan VDV crosses the line in first place. Then in second place will be Dane. An absolute crack of a race there for him. Followed by...
And there you go.
Tyler Scott.
Morris managed to get that podium position in third, so he just hung on there to the beginning, to the end, and knew that Tyler had that penalty, and there you go, he's got his podium.
So that is 2 third places in a row for Marius. So while I just do the quick little calculation while the guys are just finishing off their race. So Tyler will come home in 4th place. That is Peter Brandt in 5th.
Andrew now crosses the line after a terrible start to the race. Unfortunately, he could only manage 11th position.
Yeah, very unfortunate to see. While we are getting the invites there for the Alpha tier. Man, oh man, these points are so close. And that is Christo crossing the line, and he comes home in 12th place. And we see that we actually lost Rolf through a disconnection. We were so focused on what was happening up in the front that I actually didn't even see that.
Okay, so Dylan, tell me who do you want in the lobby? Should we get Johan?
So we would need to get Johan, Dane, Marius, and Tyler.
Guys, can I have...
Pour me some water. Thank you. Karen, where's the headphone?
So welcome guys. What an absolutely fantastic race. Great driving. We just wanted to start with you, Dane. Fourth fastest for the day over the 2 heats, putting yourself on 40 points. You kind of stayed behind at the back just watching in the first race, hit the second race, and then you were fighting right at the top.
Yeah, I think the first race I was stuck behind a couple of cars that I just couldn't get around with. They were faster in the last section, and I was faster in the first section. But yeah, second race didn't have the same problem, and yeah.
No, 100% was absolutely fantastic to see, and yeah, some of the maneuvers there, really great. Let's just go to you, Marius.
Hello.
Hello. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you, Mr. One Hand.
Hey, careful. Still got another one. So, Morris, 42 points for you. So that puts you third for the evening. Some really great driving there as well. A little tag from Peter Brunt in the first race and allowed you to get into that third place. But man, oh man, some of the positions there were so tough to hold off.
Well, the plan was to be wingman for him, but then he spun, so I had to go. I couldn't stay anymore. But yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I think it was clean. I think it was good. I enjoyed it.
No, absolutely.
So next week I'm in the BIM as well, no?
No, you'll be in the Ford.
Oops.
No, 100%. Let's go to you, Tyler. Absolutely fantastic racing there for you. Let's just get the guys in the Alpha tier. You guys can start off in the meantime while we just finish off our interviews. Tyler, some great racing there for you as well. Managed to get yourself to win the first race. Time penalty for you in the second one, but that still puts you second overall.
Oh, thanks, Alan. The first race there was some tough overtakes and some tough holding off the guys behind me. So I was